Good morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you're starting your weekend off great and getting going here. I'm going to give you all weekend forecast, talk about what you can expect weather-wise this weekend. And then towards the tail end of this video, we're going to briefly give you the latest information on what's going on next week. Now, this is not going to be a lot of information. I'm going to make a really detailed video this afternoon. And the reason being is because there has been a lot of changes overnight for really the second system for next week. So there's a lot to talk about, and really what I want to see is what the afternoon models do before I get really detailed. And, you know, if I was to make a video right now and then everything changes by noon, then I feel like people will be watching not the latest information. So I'll give you what the models are showing. We're not going to get really detailed on what they're and what it means. But I will show you some of the latest info from the GFS, the European, and even the Icon and the Canadian model on what's happening next week for the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and even Southeast. This is going to be an impactful system. A lot of areas are going to see rain who have not seen any kind of beneficial rain in several weeks. And it's going to be good news for some, but going to be impactful for others. So we'll get more, into that a little bit later. Good news is I'm feeling a little bit better this morning, so I'm hoping to get going today and get back in my normal routine of things. Whatever I've had is just really kicked my butt and thrown my routine off. I know a lot of y'all don't know me personally, but I'm a very active person. I don't know how to sit down. I stay very busy, and having no energy is just killing that for me. So it's tearing my nerves up. But thank y'all for the well wishes, the prayers, and all the suggestions. It's much appreciated. And if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm on that storm next week. You never know. It might be something worth the chase. But like the video if you like it. Thank y'all for the support. And let's get rolling here. I'm not going to keep y'all too long this morning. Longer video coming later today. So today, a lot of areas in the Southeast are waking up. This is actually, I think, no, this is updated information. Here we go. A lot of areas are waking up with some clouds and not a whole lot going on here. What we're going to do here is look at the precipitation as far as what falls in the eastern U.S., temperatures, what the temperatures look like, because there's a pretty big difference depending on where you are in the eastern U.S. and central U.S. So as far as precipitation, I don't really foresee a very active weekend. If you live in the interior areas of the Northeast, expect some squally snows out there. Maybe, just some early December snow, nothing unheard of. It's going to be very cold depending on where you are in the Northeast, so it's going to be plenty cold enough for snow. I don't see really any moisture in the Southeast. It's just some areas you're going to see more clouds, some areas will be sun, but if you're in the Southeast or Deep South, it's going to be warm. And some areas will be rather humid for this time of the year, especially in Louisiana and Texas. As basically a trough injection is going to surge a moist flow into this area. And then going forward here, you look at this piece of energy here, bringing some snow for areas of the Midwest into Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, places like that. And this will be a pretty powerful system, and this is the start of our first system that will bring a significant snowstorm for areas of Canada up here well north of the lower 48. And you might get some showers tomorrow evening in portions of North Carolina. But this is the name. It's not always accurate. I'm not using the HRRR model because I don't have the latest and greatest long-range information. As far as temperatures, most people in the South are waking up to relatively mild conditions, especially if you're in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, even areas of Mississippi, even areas of Tennessee, waking up to the 50s and 60s. It's very above average for this time of the year. But even here, the Carolinas and Georgia, it's pretty warm for this time of the year. Bitterly cold in Maine and areas of Vermont and New Hampshire and upstate New York, and just really it's kind of just seasonably cold up in these areas right here. But as we get into the day, highs will reach the 70s as far north as areas into Virginia. It's going to flirt with 80 for a lot of people in the South. It hit 82 degrees here in Columbia, South Carolina yesterday. Not the all-time record high of December, but it broke the record high for the day by a few degrees, I believe. But as far as low temperatures tomorrow, nobody's really that cold compared to their average at this time of the year at all. In fact, I think mostly everybody's actually above average. As far as high temperatures for tomorrow, kind of the same situation, 70s, some 80s. Very warm weekend, but I'm watching the Carolinas, especially North Carolina. There might be a little bit of some cold air damming, so I think Virginia will definitely be influenced by this. If you're in Virginia, might be one of those days where Saturday is really warm, depending on where you are, and then the next day is pretty chilly. And you got to watch out these cold air damming. Sometimes they can hold or dip a little bit further southwest than what they're forecast, and hold on a little bit deeper into the day than what is normally forecasted or showing on models. So it might be more chillier in certain areas than what the GFS is showing right now. The NAM really shows that. The NAM shows 50s for highs as far south as Augusta, Georgia. So some differences in the models there. Chilly day across the Ohio Valley, but there's a pretty stout boundary, basically with this jet sitting. So look at where you are, state-wise. If you got any questions about this map, it's hard to shoot through every single state and tell you how high your temperatures are going to be. If you got any questions, definitely let me know. As far as the humidity, these are dew points. These aren't temperatures. There's going to be a surge of higher humidity into the western areas of the deep south here in the mid-south. But as far as humidity mixed with these temperatures, I don't foresee it's going to still feel. It's not going to be very humid out there, even when it's warm. It's going to be it's going to be almost like that day where you get your first cold front in the fall, or a spring day for a lot of folks in the South today. Now, let's briefly talk. We're not going to get deep into this. We're going to briefly talk about the storm system for next week. Here we go. Here comes the first system to bring a little bit of severe weather for areas of the South. This gets kind of strung out, moves through. Then here comes our second system. Look how amplified the GFS is now as we're getting into Wednesday evening. First off, look at all this nice rain for areas of the South, Virginia. But then, you have this pretty intense low pressure. It's nothing too crazy, but it's pretty strong. It gets stronger as more northeast it goes. And this brings some downright major snowstorm conditions for areas of the interior northeast. Now, from New York City to Boston, this run is definitely too warm. Low pressure is way too close to you guys. Your 850s are roasting, which means that aloft it's definitely warm, and you're just going to get a really big time cold rain. But we'll watch this trend. Now you look at this, and then you look at the European run. I meant to have this a little bit closer for you guys, but let's back it up. This is the European run for the same storm. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. I meant to already have this ready. So this is the European run for the same storm. Here goes the first storm, second storm. Same time period right here. Look at this, just some snow showers. The storm system has trended south, and I don't know if this is a response to a stronger high pressure. I mean, I'm sure that's a big reason, but it has trended further south from the previous runs that it's been trending south. So, that would bring more cold air into the picture, but that looks totally different from this, right? Totally different. Look at the icon. The icon kind of looks more like the European. It's going to kind of do a little glitch here and skip ahead. Luckily, it gets the time frame that I want in the picture. Here comes our next system, and this is around the same time as the GFS and the European, and it's a lot more south, but it does bring a stripe of some light snow from New York City to Boston. So we'll have to watch that. The Canadian, which shouldn't get much respect because it's very cold biased, which means it always shows the coldest scenarios. Here it comes. It's not a very strong system, but just like an overrunning event where there's cold air in place, and shows snow all the way as far south as Tennessee, and then a band of moderate snow all the way, from West Virginia to New York City to Boston. It continues for the next 12 or so hours, and even bring some back in snow to the mountainous areas of Tennessee and North Carolina, West Virginia, Virginia. So there's a lot of scenarios on the table. It's hard to get detailed about them because the models are flip-flopping so much. But we do know that this system is likely to happen. It's going to affect somebody. So that's all I got, guys. Y'all have a great day. I'll be with y'all here in the next several hours to give y'all an update on the afternoon models on what's going on. Y'all have a great day.